Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 8th, 2016. This is the morning drive. If you've never watched one of these, basically what I do is I drive to work. It's about a 15 to 20 minute drive. While I do that, I read comments from the video before I run out of comments and start to rant. That's pretty much the gist of it. That being said, let's read the first comment as I come to the first stop sign. How convenient is that? Good morning, Dave. Whoa, you called me Dave. That throws me off. Not a question, more a humble request. Please do a series of videos documenting Steves OCD in his wild environment. This how it can be national quirkographic. Thanks, mate, and safe drive. That actually is a really good idea. I think I might do that. There's actually, yeah, I think I can do that. I'm going to apologize right now. Most of the video is going to be shot from my phone, kind of like these are. So I'm going to apologize for that right now for the poor quality. I also watched the video that I shot for their decision making. I don't know what's going on, but like the focus is like focusing in one side of the camera but not the other, so it almost looks like it almost looks like your stereotypical Hollywood like drug hallucination scene. It's weird. Just everything bends. But yeah, I can definitely do that. I'm probably not going to name it National Quirkographic, but I will definitely try and catch as much of Steves OCD as I possibly can on camera, because it's hilarious and incredibly fun to watch. Alright, next comment as I pass this guy on a bike, that's just weird. That is a weird bike. Okay, that was special. It like, I don't even know. You know how like the front handlebars are where you turn and the back wheel is always like static? His back tire is moving a little bit. That's really odd. That's okay. Enough of that. Next stop, which means next comment, is from that guy on YouTube. Quirk, what is your favorite GW miniature? Ooh. My favorite GW miniature. Actually, it's probably the orc arachnid, like the big. I forget what it's called now. It's basically arachnid, blur something. It's the monstrous creature that orcs can get, where it's basically a giant spider and it's got like a bunch of orcs all over it. That was probably my favorite GW miniature. I just like the look of it. I like spiders, so I thought that one was really, really cool. And it actually looks like, if you paint it well enough, it looks like an actual spider. Like, I've seen a couple of them that were painted, and I thought they were real, and they freaked me out, and I thought it was sweet. So, all right, next comment. That guy looks super serious over there. He's like, it's freaky. Next up here we have CJ Phoenix. Morning. Other than Eternal Crusade, do you play any other games based on Games Workshop IP? I'm currently playing a lot of Mordheim and Blood Bowl. I do. I've played Dawn of War and Dawn of War 2. Who are you looking at? Okay. So I played the Dawn of War games. I have Death Watch on my iPad. I have Space Hulk on my iPad. I have a couple like the iPad games that I play. They're fun to kind of kill time with. I can't sit down and play those for a long time. I don't know why. I just I feel like it's repeating itself. But it's fun to play for like an hour or two like here and there. But I can't sit down and play those all the way through and try and just burn through the storyline. There's also I played the Space Marine game. Played that one all the way through. That was fun. I have Blood Bowl on my Xbox. I played that with Lee a lot when my Xbox was at the studio. Now we have a company Xbox, and all of our teams are gone, so we don't really play as much as we used to. I'm really looking forward to when Battlefleet Gothic Armada comes out, because I want to play that. So I'm waiting for their open beta to start, and then I think I might pick up the game. So, but yeah, those are the Games Workshop games that I play. I tried the what's it called? It's like Drop Commander or something like that. Basically what it is, it's a 30K take on Boom Beach, which is made by Supercell. I remember the name. So This game's not made by Supercell, but it's pretty much the same thing. So it was neat. It was fun. I don't like that you're limited to the 4 chapters. It'd be nice if you could pick, like, for example, if you pick at the beginning, it asks if you want to be a loyalist or a traitor. And on my iPad, I picked traitor because I was like, oh, maybe they'll let me pick Alpha Legion. No, they're like, okay, here's World Eaters, Death Guard, Sons of Horus, and I forget the other one. But I was like, okay, well, that's not a bad loadout. Then I went Loyalist, and it gave me the same chapters. And basically the storyline to them was, these are the chapters that have no idea that the heresy's going on and are staying true to the Emperor. I'm like, oh, that's just lazy. So, but yeah, those are the IPs that I play. Next question is from Jacob Arthur. Hey Quirk, I was looking at the Games Workshop books and was wondering, does their Horus Heresy link between books? Because I want to get Vulcan Lives, but if they link Horus Heresy, but if they link, I don't want to. Also, is the Deathwatch graphic novel a hardback? Thanks, Quirk, and have a good one. Keep up the great work. Thanks, I will certainly try. Yeah, the Horus Heresy books are linked, but they're not directly linked. They will reference stories and events that happened in the previous books. But what's nice about them is you don't have to read them in sequence in order to understand what's going on, aside from the first 5 books of the Horus Heresy. The first 5 mostly the first 3 actually do it really, really well, where they're all pretty much linked together as a trilogy, and then the other 2 kind of at that point start to branch off and start to expand into different stories. And then you can start reading the other books, and it doesn't really matter as long as you know the gist of what happened during the Horus Heresy. You can pretty much read any of the other books out of sequence, and it will, for the most part, be fairly easy to understand. There's a couple times where it's just like, okay, maybe you should have read the book they're referencing before. Like if it's an Ultramarine storyline, and you're reading one of the Ultramarine books, and then you go and read another one that's further on down the storyline, you should probably have read the first one. Because they'll reference a lot of events from the previous Ultramarine book. So, on the note of Games Workshop books, who else is excited for the Primarch biography books? I'm stoked. They come out in October, which sucks. But they're coming out with the first book for Rubate Guilliman. I'm done. I will always whiff that name. So. But they're going to be doing backstory books for everybody. So I was telling Steve, and I'm just like, hey Steve, look, they're doing books about the Primarchs. He's like, they've already done books about the Primarchs. I'm like, no, backstories. He's like, oh. And suddenly he's all into it. I'm like, yeah, the only one they've announced so far is the Ultramarine Primarch. He's like, oh. I was like, what? It's still cool. He's like, yeah, but he's the most vanilla of them all. I'm like, I hate you. So he didn't say that. Well, he didn't say it in those words. He was just upset that his Primarch doesn't have a release date yet. As for the Deathwatch graphic novel, my assumption, I don't know off the top of my head, but my assumption would be it's not a hardback, it's probably a softcover. But at some point in the near future, you could probably find it in hardcover on Amazon, or Games Workshop will release it somewhere. But my guess is right now it's just going to be a softcover, because most of the Games Workshop books that I've seen that were graphic novels are softcover. So, but that's not saying much. I've only seen 3. But you never know. It just depends on how they feel on the day they release it, or the day that they were in the meeting discussing whether or not to do hardback or softback. Next up, we have Matthew McGee. Magee. Okay. Hey Quirk, have you heard of If the Emperor Had Text-to-Speak device video series on YouTube? If not, you should watch it. It's great. Yeah, I think I mentioned that in yesterday's video. Somebody had asked me the same question. I've watched a couple. The only one that I've seen all the way through was the one where basically they were talking the Emperor, and his name's gone. Crap. Anyway, they were talking about how much the word heresy gets thrown around. And he's like, we don't throw it around that much. And then you can see the planet ends up getting bombed because of heresy, and it was just because some random guardsman picked up the equivalent of a nudie mag. So I thought that was funny. I will probably end up watching them today, because I have a little bit of filming and a lot of work. So It's gonna be interesting. Buddy, your name. Okay. Sorry right now because I'm gonna whiff this name hard. Atarik, Atriarch, Ajadi. Hope I got that right. Quirk, love the videos. I was wondering if you play any skirmish games like Frostgrave. I do not. Well, no, I don't. The only skirmish type game that I play, I guess, would be Infinity, but that's not really a skirmish type game. That's just a skirmish sized game. I would actually really like to get into Mordheim if or when they re-release it. I think that'd be sweet. I'm having a lot of fun right now with the Deathwatch campaign, which I guess could also be described as a skirmish type game because the guys are getting experience, they're finding new items and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think so. We are going to be starting up Gorka Morka, which is a good skirmish game, so look forward to that. But for the most part, no, I don't play many skirmish games, but I would absolutely love to. It would be fun. Lamest loser. Quirk, here's a question. If you could travel back in time, where would you travel back to and why? Ooh, that is a good question. I would almost want to travel back to, like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to travel back too far, because I have a feeling the development of the English language has started to get so rapid that if I travel back too far, I just wouldn't be able to understand anybody, and they wouldn't be able to understand me, and that would just be terrible. But if I had my absolute choice, I would probably want to go back to, like, the early 1900s. Like, the 1920s. Yeah. Roaring 20s. I don't think we need. But again, I wouldn't want to go back too far. But yeah. It's not like I want to go back to, like, something BC and just see what the whole fuss was about. Like, nope, because I wouldn't survive there. There's your morning yawn. I wouldn't mind going back to, like, the medieval era, but at the same time, I don't want to go back to the medieval era. That would be terrible. So, it's a good question. I'm probably going to ask that to other people at some point in time. And, oh, I saw this comment before. Axis, I'm sorry. Axis762, how can you say John Cheese was the best Q? He only played Q in one movie, Die Another Day. I'm going to tell you right now before I finish reading this. I got him mixed up with the other guy. I think he put his name in here somewhere. Desmond, yeah. Yeah, that's the one who I meant. I got names and faces mixed up because I read John Cheese. It was just like, yeah, and then afterwards I was like, wait a second. No, John Cheese was the one who got, like, pranked in Die Another Day. So, anyway, finishing up your comment. That's like saying George Lesbin was the best Bond. Maybe he could have been if there was enough source material to work with. Same with Cheese. Desmond Llewellyn played Q in, I believe, 16 movies with 5 different Bond actors. Enough of that. Quirk, are there any questions to ask Steve that would mess with his OCD? You can't really mess with his OCD because you can't really say anything and be like, oh, did you know that this and this doesn't fit? Because they'll be like, yeah, whatever. But what you can do is, I absolutely love when we'll play a game and I will intentionally mess up a rule because he is a rules, like, we won't catch this on camera, we'll fix it beforehand, but I will intentionally screw up a rule because he is, like, a rules, like, lawyer, Nazi, whatever you want to say when it comes to making sure that rules are accurate, which is why he tries really, really hard and he gets really, really upset when he finds out that he made a rules error. So, we were playing a game, and I had this was when we were playing Alpha Legion versus Iron Warriors. And I was going to try and get my Alpha Legion to get into a Rhino. Now, I already measured this and found out that I couldn't get all of them in. But I remember way back in, like, 4th or 5th edition, it was if you can get at least one model within 2 inches of the door, your entire unit can get in. And I knew that I could rhyme off that rule without any hesitation, and Steve might believe it. And if he believes it, then I would fix it. But I basically was just like, okay, well, my guy's gonna move here, and this guy's within 2 inches of the door, so the entire unit gets in. And I just watched his brain explode. He's like, doesn't work that way. You need to get the entire. Oh, he lost it. He just, he was mad. So now, whenever I get a chance, I will remind him of that rules error, but I'll make it even worse. I'll be like, oh, did you know that if you have 2 transports, like a good distance away from each other, but you daisy chain a unit so that two ends of it are within 2 inches of a hatch of both vehicle, in the movement phase, you can actually decide which vehicle you want to have the entire unit jump into. And I can literally see the veins like popping out into Steve's head because he's so frustrated with me about it. So doing stuff like that is absolutely hilarious. Also, not saying chaos demons, say chaos daemons, and he'll hit me. He'll actually hit me if I say that, because he's like, that's not a word. Daemon is not a word. It's not as pronounced. Learn the English language. It's fun. So it is very, very fun to just bug him. I feel like I need to start catching this like on camera. It's gonna be the good, and I'm gonna get the hit a lot. So I'm trying to think of what else we can do. Oh, he has the weakest stomach of anybody I've ever met. You can say something gross and he'll start dry heaving. So we were in the back office and we were talking about how we have a lot of room in the warehouse. This is before, this is while Lee was talking about moving everything around. So we were making jokes and stuff like that. And we said, wouldn't it be great if we threw a hot tub in the back, right where the workout equipment is? And we're all getting in, yeah, that'd be great. Oh, it'd be so good. Halfway through a battle report, just be like, you know what, my back's kind of sore. I'm just gonna hop in the hot tub for 15 minutes. And we start talking about how, well, for the most part, it would be a bunch of fat guys in a hot tub all day, and eventually that water would start to look like hot dog water. And we said that, and Steve starts dry heaving a little bit. And we're like, oh, we got him. We're on the right track here. So we start going along and saying other stuff. We'll be like, oh yeah, could you imagine just sitting there with little hot dogs floating around? You can see Steve just about to go. And at the end, at the very end, I'm like, hey Steve, could you imagine just me sitting in a hot tub and hot dog floats by and I pick it up and I grab a hot dog bun, I stick it in there and I'm just like, hum. And then he's just like, yeah, that's not that bad. I'm like, and then I go, it tastes like the Mini War Gaming Crew, and he puked right into the bucket. I'm like, oh my god. Yep. So, and then after we got him to puke once, it was just it was super easy to just keep making him puke. We'll just say whatever we wanted to that was gross. And you can think of anything gross and say it. Once he started puking, he'll just keep puking. So, but yeah, that's something else that I'm probably gonna have to try and get on camera, is me making Steve puke. But I won't do it in the morning. I made a rule to myself for Steve that I won't bug him in the mornings, because his mornings are kind of that's his chance to kind of come in, relax. I won't bug him in mornings. That's just my general rule. I'll wait till he's woken up and finished his work and all that stuff, and I'll start to bug him. So he's also got this new habit. It's starting to bug me, so I started doing it to him, and I think he's stopped now that I started doing it to him, where he'll come in and watch the game. Josh still does it, and this drives me insane. But he'll come in and start watching the game, and people come in and watch games all the time. It's nothing new. If your game is on a break, or your guest has gone to the washroom, or you're just not filming that day, you'll go in and check out and see how people's games are going and see what's going on. And Steve had the habit of, whenever I'd be filming something, I'd hit the button and you hear the beep, and I start to say something, and you just hear him go he'll say something inappropriate, or he'll just make a noise, or he'll just yell or something to completely throw off that clip, and I have to delete the clip and do it all over again. So then I did it to him, and he didn't delete the clip. I was like, dude, you need to delete that clip. He's like, you didn't say anything bad. I was like, I know, it's just, you gotta delete that clip. He's like, nope. I'm like, all right, well, new rule. If you do that to me, I'm not deleting the clip no matter what you say. He's like, oh. So now he won't do it to me anymore. But Josh will still come in and do that random stuff, and yeah. It's special. It's very, very special. Still very entertaining. Oh no, I'm low on gas. Sorry, my car's low on gas. I'm not low on gas. I had a Gatorade this morning. I'm full of sugar. So, yeah, I can't really think of anything else, but that's good because I'm just about to pull into the driveway at work. So how's that for perfect timing? And it's... oh, I'm late by 2 minutes. Oh no. Oh, and I forgot to clean up my table. Well, I'm gonna get yelled at. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's morning drive. As always, if you have a question or comment you'd like me to read on the show, please leave it in the comment section below. I will read it tomorrow. Also, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, have a great day and happy wargaming.